Hi there folks, Borislav247 here with another Days Gone video from my sub-challenges series, where I show one specific challenge and break down all the sub-challenges that lie within it. And on this video, it's the Keep Them Safer challenge that gets my full attention. Now, throughout all my time playing these challenges, I've never really taken the time to go into great detail about the sub-challenges that need to be completed. Well, all that is now about to change, as I intend on showing all 12 challenges in this video series, and then breaking down and showing every sub-challenge completed in as easy a way as possible. And trust me when I say, a lot of these sub-challenges can be simplified. Now, you will all notice that I already have a challenge completed to a gold standard. I will explain more about this when I get to the setup page, where I discuss the rings and basically any essential things that you need to have in place. But right now, let's get to the sub-challenges. Now, before I actually go into explaining each one of these, the first thing I need to do is show the relevant information. Because although there is a list of things that need to be completed, these are all the bronze requirements for these sub-challenges. In order to see exactly what is required for the gold, I need to update these. And given that it is only the gold standards that I'm interested in, let's take a look at what is actually required for the gold standards. Okay, now that all the gold requirements are on screen, I'll go through each of these sub-challenges. And I'm very pleased to say that all 4 of these are pretty self-explanatory. But I'll start with bolted. This basically requires you to get 50 kills using the crossbow. Now, anybody who has seen any of my previous videos on Keep Them Safer will have a very good idea of what I'm probably going to show in order to get the job done for this one. Now, on to the second sub-challenge, which is called In Scope. This requires you to get 110 headshots. Now, this does sound like a tall order, but given that this horde is 300 strong, this is less than half of the numbers that you're required to get headshots with. And there is 1 or 2 very good ways to ensure that you get this job done, which I will show when I come to taking out this sub-challenge. Now, the third sub-challenge is called Untouchable. And very simply, you're required to take out the entire horde without taking any damage. This one can actually be taken out in conjunction with the last sub-challenge, which is called Needless Risk. And this one is it's one of the most annoying, because if you're like me and you're used to using dive rolls throughout all of the challenges, when you all of a sudden have a challenge where you're required not to use it under any circumstances, it can be a tad difficult. But this is basically what's required. Get 300 kills without dodge rolling, or as I like to call it, dive rolling. So, now that all of the sub-challenges have been explained, let's get to the setup page, where I will go into a bit more detail about the rings and the minimum requirements of what I feel you need to have in place before taking on these sub-challenges. Now then, on to the setup page, and the first thing that I want to do is to change the character from Deacon to Ricky. Ricky is simply a faster character. Now, the rings required for this particular challenge, there is only 2 that I would ever recommend that you need to use. The first is the Fleur-de-Lis. This only applies to one of the sub-challenges, which is called Bolted, but you must have this ring to at least a level 2 or level 3 standard. If you have it level 1, it's not really going to help you too much. The other ring, which I choose to use on one of the other sub-challenges, is called Lionheart. Now, as well as this, you want to have as a minimum requirement a gold score on the ambush camp rush, which gives you extra bullet penetration. Now then, very unusually, I'm actually going to start off by taking out 2 of the sub-challenges, which are Untouchable and Needless Risk, because they both work hand in hand with each other. Right then, the first 2 sub-challenges, Untouchable and Needless Risk. No dive rolls, and basically taking out the entire horde without taking any damage. I like to start by basically arming myself with the napalm molotovs. You only have 3 to use, but the perfect opportunity to use them is right here. They're all bunched up very well, so you will do a lot of damage. From here, I'm now looking to take full advantage of these barrels when I lead the horde right down this way. As always, I'm just making sure to keep plenty of distance between me and the oncoming horde. Now then, after I've hit this barrel, I'm making sure to get a lot of distance before the next bullet is fired, because the next one's going into that tanker. And trust me, if you are anywhere near that bad boy, you're going to take damage. If you take damage, one of these sub-challenges is fucked. So just make sure you have plenty of room before firing at that thing. But it takes out 50 freakers, so it is well worth doing. And at this point, I'm actually going to use a couple of vehicles to take care of most of the freakers that are remaining. So the first one is going to be a grenade right there. That'll take out around about 30. And I should still have a pipe bomb left to use. In fact, I've got quite a number of them. But I'm only intending on using one of them here. And there we go, that'll do nicely. Moving along a touch just to make sure I'm not caught in the blast. And from here, I've only got 10 left to go. So I'm going to use this barrel. And then I'll probably use the crate that's just behind me. And this should get the job done very nicely indeed. Again, I'm constantly keeping my distance so there is no danger whatsoever of taking any damage. And I haven't done any dive rolls. And there we go. That is the two of them taken care of to a gold standard. So that is a job very well done indeed. And that is one of the easiest ways you will probably get in order to take out this horde easily and safely. Right then, on to the next sub-challenge, and the next one I'm going to take on is called In Scope. This requires you to get 110 headshots, and this is basically where the Lionheart ring comes in handy. Right then, very important, the first thing I want to do for this sub-challenge is to change the weapon. Then I want to get some more ammunition for it, and from here I'm basically heading over to this vehicle here, and it's from here I'm going to start my attack. So I'm going to get a few headshots here. I'm basically just looking to get the horde's attention. One shot at the barrel. Now they're going to start to congregate right there, and I'm basically aiming at that spot right there. You can get a tremendous amount of headshots there. So from here, I'm looking to activate a focus cocktail, and then I'm going to go to town on them. And basically, the Lionheart ring will give you more focus for any kills that you get when in focus mode. So it just basically extends the amount of time that you can stay in focus mode. Now, coupled with this, the fact that I have the extra bullet penetration from getting a gold score on the Ambush Camp Rush challenge, and the fact that I've changed the weapon at the very start for even more bullet penetration, makes this job a much simpler one than what it would normally be. Because trust me, if you don't have all these things in place, this sub-challenge can be quite difficult. But there we go, that is 110 headshots taken care of already. And that is a job very well done indeed. Now, if I manage to get an extra rep level out of this, and I have, fantastic. That is now me at the stage where I can select the next ring that I want, which will help me hugely in getting the last sub-challenge taken care of, and that's the Fleur-de-Lis. If you don't have it upgraded to level 2, don't bother with it. It will not help you. Level 1 upgrade for this ring is frickin' useless. So, now that I have that in place, let's take care of the final sub-challenge, which is bolted. Right then, on to the last sub-challenge, which is bolted. 50 kills required using the crossbow. And this is where the Fleur-de-Lis ring comes in so handy, because I'm not looking to go down to where the horde is and engage them there. I'm looking to take them out from the safety of this area here. And with the Fleur-de-Lis being a level 2 ring that I have in place, basically it ensures that you will get extra penetration with the bolts. So on more than one occasion you will take out more than one freaker at a time. But not only that, basically the bullets will, or the bolts I should say, will fly straighter for longer, so you actually can hit the freakers from here. I'm not saying that without the ring you can't do this, but the lack of bullet penetration for the bolt basically makes it a very long affair indeed. Now on this occasion I do actually have one or two freakers that I've got up to my position up here, but that's not a problem. If they do just basically move back, even if you end up having to run down the road that is basically to my left here until you get the freakers taken care of, and then once you do, just get back to business as usual. Another huge tip to remember when taking out the horde like this is to ideally be shooting to the left hand side of the horde or to the middle. You don't want to be shooting to the right hand side of them until you nearly have the job done, because that is one surefire way of getting a lot of freakers up to your position, which you simply don't want. But at this point I've pretty much got the job just about done. I've only got 7 more, in fact, yep, and just another 5 kills. So now this is the time when I go to the right hand side, because yes, it's so tempting to go to that side very early, but as you can see, they're not long in leaving their area when you do. But that is it, that is the job done, so very nice. Okay, just one thing left to do. So I now have all the sub-challenges in place, which is fantastic, but the one thing I am missing, and I always like to show this if I never get it done using the sub-challenges, and that is a gold score. So let's take care of that right now. Right then, for the gold score, again I want to change the weapon. I actually go over here and get some more ammunition, but it's not actually required because I can see it's only pistol ammo. However, I get onto this truck here and I'm looking to hit them hard. I want to get as many shots as possible there. Then once I've reloaded, I go into focus mode. This just makes sure that you keep the multiplier going. Then hit the barrel, and while the barrel is doing its thing, I'm reloading and then hitting them hard at that point again that I used for the in-scope challenge, because the in-scope sub-challenge is hugely important in getting the job done here, but I only require the silver requirement for that particular sub-challenge, and I've already got it because it is 60 headshots. After that, I'm simply looking to take out the needless risk and the untouchable sub-challenges to a gold standard. So that is basically taking no damage and basically not doing a dive roll. So this is where I change things up a bit. I'm going to throw 3 pipe bombs just to basically lower the numbers, and this is going fantastically already. Look at this. I've only got 30 of them left to take out. I just have to be a little bit cautious there because there is one freaker that's hanging about. From here, 1 grenade. Try not to move too much because I want to get as many other numbers as possible. And there we go. I have now just got 6 left. The one other thing that works hugely in my favour here is speed. Because I've taken out this horde exceptionally quickly, I will get a very good bonus at the end of this. Very nice indeed. That was a very quick and very clean run in order to get the gold score. The gold is 165,000, so I was well above it. And finally, before I bring this video to a close, I just want to show the fruits of my labour here. Every challenge has a patch perk, and this particular one, when you get it done to a gold standard, this is what you get. 20% focus efficiency. Your focus decreases slower. Yep, very handy one to have. And that brings us to the end of this video, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Take care.